Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Global English Podcast. I'm Mike, and today we're traveling to France, but not to Paris. We're visiting Lyon, one of France's most beautiful and underrated cities. Our guest is Camille Dubois, a 29-year-old interior designer and sustainable architecture consultant. This episode is perfect for B2 learners who want to practice comparatives and superlatives while exploring French culture, gastronomy, and design. If you're new here, subscribe now and join our global community. Let's meet Camille. Camille, welcome to the show. I'm so excited to learn about Lyon.
Thank you, Mike. I'm thrilled to be here. Lyon is truly special, and I can't wait to share it with your listeners.
So, let's start with the basics. Where exactly is Lyon, and what makes it different from Paris?
Great question. Lyon is in the southeast of France, about 460 kilometers from Paris. It's the third largest city in the country, after Paris and Marseille. What makes it special is that it's less touristy than Paris, but just as culturally rich. It's more relaxed, more authentic, and honestly, the food is better.
Wait, better food than Paris? That's a bold statement.
Haha, I know. But Lyon is actually considered the gastronomic capital of France. We have more Michelin-starred restaurants per capita than Paris, and our traditional dishes are absolutely incredible. Plus, the cost of living is lower, so you get amazing quality without breaking the bank.
Wow, I had no idea. So Lyon is more affordable than Paris?
Much more affordable. Rent in Lyon is about 40% cheaper than in Paris. A nice apartment in the city center costs maybe 800 to 1,200 euros per month. While in Paris, the same apartment could easily be 2,000 euros or more. That's one of the reasons I stayed here after university.
That's a huge difference. And you mentioned Lyon is less touristy. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
For me, it's the best thing. Don't get me wrong. I love Paris, but it can feel overwhelming with all the crowds. Lyon has a more peaceful vibe. You can sit at a cafe without feeling rushed, walk through old streets without bumping into tourists every 5 seconds. It's the perfect balance between big city energy and small town charm.
That sounds wonderful. Now, tell us about the city itself. What does Lyon look like?
Lyon is stunning. The city sits between two rivers, the Rhone and the Saône. We have beautiful hills, historic neighborhoods, and a mix of Renaissance and modern architecture. The old town, Vieux-Lyon, is a UNESCO World Heritage Site with narrow cobblestone streets, colorful buildings, and hidden passageways called traboules.
Traboules. What are those?
Oh, they're so cool. Traboules are secret passages that go through buildings and courtyards. They were originally used by silk workers in the 16th century to transport fabric without getting it wet in the rain. Now, they're one of Lyon's most unique features. Walking through them feels like discovering a hidden world.
That sounds magical. Are they open to the public?
Some are. Yes. You can explore them for free, but you have to know where they are. Locals love showing visitors around because each traboule has its own story. It's one of the most authentic experiences you can have in Lyon.
I love that. Now, let's talk about your job. You're an interior designer and you work with sustainable architecture. How did you get into that?
I've always been fascinated by spaces and how they make people feel. When I was younger, I loved rearranging furniture in my parents' house. But I also cared deeply about the environment. I realized that design isn't just about making things beautiful. It's about making them functional, sustainable, and responsible. So I specialized in eco-friendly materials, energy-efficient solutions, and projects that honor both tradition and innovation.
That's incredible. Can you give us an example of a project you've worked on?
Sure. Last year, I worked on restoring a 19th century apartment in Lyon. The client wanted to keep the historic charm: original wooden beams, stone walls, high ceilings, but also modernize it. We used reclaimed wood, natural paints, energy-efficient windows, and LED lighting. The result was this gorgeous blend of old and new. It felt timeless, but also contemporary.
Wow, that sounds like the perfect balance. Is it harder to work on old buildings than new ones?
Definitely. Old buildings are more challenging because you have to respect their history. You can't just tear down walls or change everything. But that's also what makes it more rewarding. Every detail matters: the moldings, the tiles, the doors. It's like solving a puzzle. And honestly, I find old buildings more interesting than modern ones. They have soul.
I totally agree. There's something special about history. Speaking of history, what about Lyon's cultural scene? You mentioned it's very rich.
Oh, absolutely. Lyon is incredibly cultural. We have over 30 museums, including the Museum of Fine Arts, which is the second largest in France after the Louvre. We also have amazing theaters, opera houses, and music festivals. And of course, the Festival of Lights.
Ah, yes. I've heard about that. Can you tell us more?
The Festival of Lights, Fête des Lumières, is one of the most spectacular events in Europe. It happens every December for 4 nights. Artists from all over the world come to Lyon and create light installations on buildings, bridges, and public spaces. The whole city becomes an open-air museum. Millions of people visit every year.
That sounds breathtaking. What's the story behind it?
It started in 1852 as a religious tradition to honor the Virgin Mary. People placed candles in their windows to give thanks. Over time, it evolved into this massive artistic celebration. Now, it's one of the most important cultural events in France. The atmosphere is magical. Everyone walks through the streets, enjoying the art, eating street food, and celebrating together.
I really want to experience that. What's your favorite installation you've ever seen?
Oh, that's tough. But I think my favorite was a projection on the Saint-Jean Cathedral. They transformed the facade into a living painting with colors, shapes, and music. It was so emotional. I actually cried. Art has this power to move you, you know?
Absolutely. Now, let's talk about food, because you said Lyon is the gastronomic capital. What are some must-try dishes?
Oh, where do I even start? Lyon has so many iconic dishes. First, there's quenelle. It's like a fluffy dumpling made with fish or chicken, covered in a creamy sauce. Then there's coq au vin, which is chicken cooked in red wine. And of course, charcuterie. Lyon is famous for sausages, pâté, and cured meats.
That all sounds delicious. What about desserts?
We have tarte à la praline, which is a sweet tart made with pink praline. It's crunchy, sugary, and absolutely addictive. And beignets, which are little fried pastries dusted with powdered sugar. They're traditionally eaten during Carnival, but you can find them year-round in bakeries.
I'm getting hungry just listening to you. Where do locals eat? Are there special restaurants?
Yes. We have bouchons, which are traditional Lyonnais restaurants. They're small, cozy, family-run places with checkered tablecloths and rustic decor. The food is hearty, authentic, and usually very affordable. Going to a bouchon is a real cultural experience. You feel like you're eating at someone's home.
That sounds so authentic. Is the food in bouchon better than in fancy restaurants?
Honestly, I think bouchons are more soul-satisfying, even if Michelin-starred restaurants are technically more refined. In a bouchon, you get warmth, tradition, and flavors that have been passed down for generations. It's comfort food at its best.
I love that. Now, you mentioned you love traveling and urban photography. How does that inspire your work?
Travel is my biggest source of inspiration. When I visit a new city, I always walk around with my camera, capturing doors, windows, facades, street art, anything that catches my eye. Every city has its own architectural language. For example, Barcelona has Gaudi's organic shapes, Amsterdam has narrow houses with big windows, and Lisbon has colorful tiles. I take those influences and incorporate them into my projects.
That's so creative. Which city has inspired you the most?
That's a hard question. But if I had to choose, I'd say Copenhagen. It's the most sustainable city I've ever visited. Everything is designed with people and nature in mind. Bike lanes, green roofs, eco-friendly buildings. It's the perfect example of how cities can be both modern and environmentally responsible. I learned so much there.
Copenhagen sounds amazing. How does Lyon compare to other European cities in terms of sustainability?
Lyon is doing really well. We have an excellent public transportation system, metros, trams, buses, and a bike-sharing program called VeloV. The city is also investing in green spaces, pedestrian zones, and renewable energy. It's not as advanced as Copenhagen yet, but we're definitely moving in the right direction. I'd say Lyon is more progressive than Paris when it comes to urban sustainability.
That's impressive. Now, tell me about daily life in Lyon. What's a typical day like for you?
My mornings usually start with a coffee at a local cafe. I love people watching. Then I head to my studio or visit clients. I spend a lot of time sketching, selecting materials, and coordinating with architects and contractors. In the afternoons, I might visit suppliers or work on designs. After work, I often walk along the Rhône or Saône rivers. It's the best way to unwind. And of course, evenings are for good food and good wine.
That sounds like a dream life. Do you cook a lot at home?
I try to. French people are quite serious about food. Haha. I love cooking traditional dishes, but I also experiment with international recipes. I think food is one of the best ways to connect with cultures. When I travel, I always take cooking classes or visit local markets.
That's wonderful. What's the hardest part about being a designer in such a historic city?
I think the biggest challenge is balancing innovation with preservation. Lyon has strict regulations to protect historic buildings, which is great for heritage but can limit creative freedom. Sometimes I have brilliant ideas, but I can't execute them because they don't fit the historical guidelines. So I have to find creative solutions that respect the past while embracing the future.
That does sound challenging, but it probably makes you a better designer, right?
Absolutely. Constraints force you to think outside the box. Some of my best projects came from working within limitations. It's like writing poetry. You have rules, but that's what makes it beautiful.
I love that perspective. Now, what's your biggest dream as a designer?
My dream is to work on larger scale projects, maybe a cultural center, a library, or even a sustainable housing complex. I want to create spaces that bring people together and make them feel inspired. I also dream of collaborating with international architects and showcasing Lyon's design philosophy to the world.
That's an amazing vision. I have no doubt you'll achieve it. Now, before we finish, what advice would you give to someone visiting Lyon for the first time?
First, forget about Paris for a moment. Lyon deserves your full attention. Spend at least 3 days here. Explore Vieux-Lyon, walk through the Traboules, eat at a bouchon, and visit the Basilica of Notre-Dame de Fourvière for the best view of the city. If you can, come during the Festival of Lights in December. It's unforgettable. And most importantly, take your time. Lyon isn't a city you rush through. It's a city you savor, like a good wine.
That's beautiful advice, Camille. Thank you so much for sharing your passion for Lyon and your work with us. I feel like I just took a virtual trip to France.
Thank you, Mike. It was such a pleasure talking with you. I hope your listeners fall in love with Lyon as much as I have.
What an inspiring conversation. Camille showed us that Lyon is more than just a French city. It's a living blend of history, culture, gastronomy, and innovation. From the secret Traboules to the breathtaking Festival of Lights. From sustainable design to authentic bouchons, Lyon truly is one of Europe's hidden gems. I hope you enjoyed this episode and learned how to use comparatives and superlatives naturally. We compared Lyon to Paris, traditional food to modern cuisine, and old architecture to contemporary design. Now, if you're a channel member, don't forget to download the free PDF with the full transcript and detailed grammar exercises. It's the perfect way to practice what you've learned today. And if you're not a member yet, consider joining us for just a small monthly contribution. You'll get access to all transcripts, grammar exercises, vocabulary lists, and bonus content. It's like having a personal English teacher available 24/7. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell. Share this episode with your friends who are learning English. Let's grow this community together. Next episode, we'll travel to another amazing destination with another fascinating guest. Where should we go next? Leave your suggestions in the comments. Thank you for listening, and see you in the next episode of the Global English Podcast. Keep practicing, keep learning, and keep exploring the world through English. Bye.